Hello and welcome to the video. Today we're going to be going through the type tool in Adobe Illustrator. For today there are a lot of different options, however I'm just going to go through the basic one here to get us started so you can learn some of the fundamentals of the type tool. So you can see all the different ones that you can play with and experiment with as well. I'll go through the type on a path tool here in the future as well, because that one's something that I use a lot. Otherwise, I just use the type tool, which is your keyboard shortcut of T. So I'm going to go ahead and select that and you'll get this icon that pops up. So now if I go back to V, you'll see it. Then there's the icon that pops up and it shows highlighted. Now you can click anywhere to place text. So I'll click here. It'll kind of fill in this automated default text, but I can type whatever I want now that it's highlighted. So I'll say like save them in manuals here. And then you can go ahead and click to select off of it, and then you can get your selection tool. So now you can go ahead and click and drag stuff around. And once I have that, there are a couple ways to resize your stuff. So if I want to resize this one, you can use the anchor handles and you can click and drag. And if you want to hold shift, that'll do it proportionally. So if I do not hold anything, you can see you can kind of change it. But hold shift, it'll do it proportionally. And then if you hold shift and alt, it'll do it from the center. So those are a couple nice things that you have available to you for keyboard assistance, kind of shortcuts and stuff. Another way to change the size, if you get a text that's like really small like this and you don't want to zoom in and grab it, drag it out, zoom out, grab it, drag it out again and again and again, go ahead and highlight it. There are two locations where you can change this size, which is the font size, which will show up here once it's highlighted, or also in the character box. So wherever you have your character widget, you can also change the font size here. Now there are drop downs for presets. You can also highlight it and type which one you want, if it would let me here. There we go. Yeah, so you can highlight it and type in whatever you want. The one I'm particularly going to do is if you hover over it, hold shift, and then you can use your scroll wheel, and that'll change the font size as well. That's the one that's the easiest for me. So you can also do it here as well, font size. If you're looking for either one of these, go up to the window and hit Control. This will give you your top toolbar. And then for character, go down to type. That's where all of your typing stuff will be. And then that's where you can find character, so which has a shortcut of Control T. And that's where you can get this widget that you can put wherever you want. So that will cover those. We'll get rid of that one because I'm done with that. So then if I come into this one, say I want to go back and retype something, triple click. It'll get it highlighted. Go ahead and click again. Now I have my cursor and I can move it around, do whatever I want. But say I do want it highlighted, so instead I want to change maybe letter spacing, like how close or far apart these letters are. You can hover over this one, which is your letter spacing box, hold the Alt key, and then use your left or right arrow keys, and then that'll automatically just kind of adjust it. And you can also type in a value as well. Just go ahead and select it. You can type in whatever you want, or there's also drop-down options too that you can kind of browse through and check it out. Again, it'll show you this type tool icon is activated again. Go ahead and click to select off of it, and then you can click your V or A for your shortcut keys to get your selection tool. So then you can then move it again. Because say if I have it like this, and I click off, well, now it's got this like, sometimes it'll do that, so you'll see that it's got this text highlighted here, and it'll show it as type down in here in your layers. So click, hit B, and then select it and get rid of that. Sometimes you'll get a little finicky things like that, or you could come in here and like delete it in here too, but that's another option. And then say I want to change my font itself. Well, come on here, there's different drop downs, and all of these fonts came with Adobe. I have no added like extra fonts or anything, and there's like a whole bunch of different fonts that you can go through. So there's plenty to choose from, so there's something for everybody and for whatever project you're working on. You can also change these previews, so if you want it smaller, medium, or large, you can do that too to get your text samples. In terms of ones that have bold and regular and italic options, they have drop-down arrows. So like if we're doing Arial, you can see all these different ones now that have got the different styles, and it'll preview all the styles too. Say I want it to just be bold, go ahead and do that. And we'll go ahead and select this using our Alt and arrow keys to change a little bit. Now, once you have that, another place you can find fonts and all of this stuff is in the type drop down. As you can see, you have fonts, and then you have options, and then ones with special font stuff you can get over here. And then also with font size and also recent fonts, that's another way you can access all the ones that you may like a lot. I believe you can also favorite them as well, so they'll mark them towards the top of your list. Here, create outlines, we'll do that in just a minute, but you can also insert special characters such as symbols, quotation marks, hyphens, dashes, white spaces, character breaks, and so on. But yeah, once you have everything that's typed up that you want, so like I want this save the manuals and I don't want it as text anymore, I'd rather have it as like a vector that I can change stuff with. Actually, I'll show you one thing. You can also change like your swatches stuff too, so like if I want this to be red with like a black stroke, you can do that too. So I'll go ahead and like do that for now. But I was going to do the create outlines. You can find a type, go to create outlines, you can hit shift control O, or the third way you can do it is right click after you select it, and then you can hit create outlines. This makes it into a vector graphic, so now it's no longer anything I can type, so I cannot change what I'm typing now. This is like set. If you didn't want to do that, hit Control Z, it'll backspace it. But now I can no longer change the text, and instead it's a grouped vector over here in your layers panel. So if I want to ungroup it, say, and then I can move letters individually or whatever else I want to do, that's an option as well. You can again always change your swatches and stuff. So if I want it to be white this time instead, you can do that too. And yeah, so that's pretty much all of the different things that come with the basic typing tool in Illustrator. So please feel free to leave questions in the comments below, and also feel free to drop a like if you found this useful for you. It really helps me out in supporting the channel and also letting me know what you guys like to see more of. But yeah, overall, thanks for tuning in and happy designing.